And this is what I'm talking about spontaneous, doing something spontaneous. Okay, so we're already in Florida. Okay, we're already here. Okay, we're already in Florida. And I left my brother-in-law yesterday, and then he falls while walking the dog and fractures his hip. How do you make that stuff up? So we get past Tampa, and I call my sister Karen, and what I really wanted to do is go to Key Largo and to go to Key West. And so I'm a little north of Tampa, and I just said, you know what? What the heck? I'm going to Key Largo, and I'm going to Key West. I'm already in Florida. I'm already down here. Why go all the way back and then say, oh, I didn't go to Key Largo? I'm going to Key Largo, and I'm doing videos on Key Largo. Okay? Ahoy. That's all there is to it. Now, if anybody's in Florida and you want to go to Key Largo, or I'm going there tomorrow and when Tuesday. All right? Disney World, I'm not ever going to Disney World again. Unless that company is sold and they got rid of all their woke crap, I'm never going to Disney, ever. Oh, yeah, here's something. Here's something really crazy. So I checked out, just for the fun of it. I said, well, maybe we go to Epcot. We go to Universal Epic, just for the day. It's $1,950 for all five of us for just one day. I mean, that's crazy. Who would do that? Unless you just got money to spend and you just want to throw it away. That doesn't include the food. That doesn't include the parking. That's just the park. I scrapped that idea really fast. Holy moly. $900 for one day. I mean, I don't care. So they wanted $900 for five people. $900. I just like, what are you gonna do? How's Frankie been? He's been very. Frankie is like, we're finding out he's got a very attitude. It's attitude adjustment. I'll talk to him, tell him we need a wire transfer. I'm going to show him how to do a wire transfer later on. I'm going to call him later on. We got to do a wire transfer, and I'll tell him how to do it. So we are going to go to Key Palms. We're staying at the Key Palms RV Resort. Oh, they're going to call me on this phone. Oh, no. Uh-oh. So we're going to go down. I got to do this. It's not like I want to do it. I got to do it. I'm already down here. Don't forget Protinkertoys.com, Protinkertoys.com. We did a great video on the 4th of July. That was a great, we got rubbernecking here. Melons. We got melons. Lots of melons. It was all melons. That's what was backing up traffic. Melons. Melons. That's all it was two cars on the side of the road. Melons. Because nowadays, okay, all of a sudden this changed. I don't know when the, I don't know when this changed, because I'm telling you, when I first started driving, if there was traffic that was in the pullover, what do you call it, the berm or something, no one ever pulled over out of the other lane, the lane that was, you just drove that, you know. But now everybody pulls. Well, there's been a ton of accidents on the road, and everybody's rubbernecking. Everybody's rubbernecking. You know, it's like their necks are like this. Give me a break. So my brother-in-law, he's walking the dogs this morning, and he falls. Go figure. Unbelievable. You can't make this stuff up. So Kathy was going to go back down there, and then we find out, well, he's going to be in there for a while. And it was just not. Plus, I can't park my camper anywhere near his house. So we're just going to go south. We're going to go to Key Largo and then maybe Key West on Tuesday.
A message from him. They haven't done the surgery yet. It's either going to be this afternoon or in the morning. They just haven't stabilized. If they can't get in by 4, it will be first thing in the morning. They do the surgery.
Okay.
So he's there.
Tell him we're on our way down.
I know.
Did you tell him we're on our way?
Yeah. I said we're still around, so if you need me.
Did you tell him we're going to Key Largo?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. He owes me big time. Kevin does. So we're going to head down to Key Largo. The fireworks were great on the 4th, on Friday. Saturday kind of went kind of quick. Sunday, today is Sunday. That's right, today is Sunday. I was getting my days messed up. Yesterday was Saturday. We just stayed at the house. He was kind of working on the truck or on the boat. So we're going to go on the Ohio Turnpike. Steve, my friend that I babysitted in high school, he told me I should just take the Turnpike because it's less traffic. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the Turnpike down. So we're going to take the turn. There's another car down. And once we get on the Turnpike, it's clean sailing, baby. We're going to get there about 7:47. The greatest airplane ever made, the 747. Now, what I'm going to do is, for the next 2 hours, I'm going to tell you the history of the world according to Bryan Young. Okay? And a lot of people know this history, but a lot of people don't want to acknowledge this history. That's the key point you got to understand. Is that a lot of people know this history that I'm going to tell you, but there's a lot of people that can't honestly tell you this history. And so I am going to, once I get onto the Turnpike, excuse me, once I get on the Turnpike, then we'll be A-OK for launch. And then I'll go into the history of the world, okay? The history of the world. Okay, Orlando, half mile, South Turnpike. Okay, so we're going to be on the Turnpike, and we are headed there right within 1 minute. 1 minute here. We're almost on the Turnpike. And now we are on the Turnpike. And once we get on the Turnpike, then I will go into the history of the world, according to Bryan Young. And now a lot of people will say, well, Bryan, that's crazy. Where do you come up with all these ideas? Well, they're not my ideas, really. I have extracted this from a lot of research from other scientists, Christian scientists, and other Christian theologians that believe the same thing, but they're not vocal about it. I'm not necessarily vocal. I just believe it. I mean, I just don't believe that man evolved from a stupid ape and they're not still evolving. Now, if you could show me an ape that is evolving into a human, then I would somewhat agree to what your philosophy is. But if you can't tell me that, then go pack sand or go drive a nail into your head because you're nuts. Okay, so the backup traffic is all the way down here. Holy moly. Man, this is backed up. Holy cow. Oh, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that. Oh, my Lord. Okay, now nobody lets me pull in. Nobody lets me to turn. When I put my signal on, nobody lets me. Nobody ever lets me pull in. It's kind of like I just have to do it quickly. You know what I'm saying? All right, pass accepted. All these different things accepted. Now I'm just gonna let the camera take my picture, and we'll just have them send me the bill. Okay. All right, so we are now officially on the on our way to Key Largo. This is a direct route, okay? A direct route to Key Largo, and we will have a lot of fun in Key Largo tonight. I might even do a live stream on the beach, having a cigar. Shh, don't tell anybody. And then Steve Weary, I'm going to meet Steve and his wife Ashley tomorrow. They're trying to steal David. And I don't think I can let that happen, but they're trying to. The villages are exit 304. We're at exit. Okay, so here's the history of the world according to Bryan Young and a lot of Christian scientists. Okay, so I hope everybody is sitting down and ready for this great. Man, look at the traffic. Want to see some traffic? Look at the traffic way down. Look at this. It just keeps backed up. Look at it. Look at it. It just keeps going. Oh my gosh. Look at it. It just keeps on going. And it keeps on going. It just keeps on going. Look. Look at it. Holy moly. Oh, I know what's wrong. I was trying to focus in on that thing. Well, that was the traffic. Now it's not so backed up. But a lot of people are pulling off. They're not wanting to go on that. All right, so the Earth, is about now, and you can judge this maybe up or down by maybe 2,000 years. And the reason I say that you can adjust my numbers 2 to 3,000 on either end is because a lot of calendars have not always been accurate. So So there might be a fluctuation of exact, I'm not going to say 6,001 year, okay? But if you calculate from the birth of Adam, now a lot of people will say, okay, well, where did time start? Well, obviously it started with Adam. You know, Adam, it says in the Bible that Adam lived to be 900 years old. So obviously one is the first year. So I mean, you copulate or you copulate from that time. So Adam lived to about 900 years old. All the people to Noah and the time Noah went into the ark is about 2,000 years. Okay. And okay, so now we are officially in the villages. I guess this is the most popular place in Florida, the village. Okay. So I just want everybody to know that we are officially in the villages. I don't know if you guys want to retire here. I suppose you can. So, so you had 2,000 years from Adam until the ark. And then from the ark, from Noah or Noah out of the ark to Christ is another 2,000 years. And then you have 2,000 years from Christ to today. That's about 6,000 years. So you can calculate that the earth, now if you want to add 1,000 years, 2,000 between those times, maybe the times wasn't correct, you know. Now it says God created the earth and the heavens in 6 days, 7 days, 6 days, and he rested the seventh. You know, so you could say I just average about anywhere between 8 and 6,000 years. The earth, how long the earth is. Okay, now let's go back to the pre-flood civilization, okay? Because that is the most important time period on earth is the pre-flood civilization. You have to remember that, okay? Whenever I say pre-flood civilization, and because that was 2,000 years. So Adam lived 900 years. Can you imagine all the knowledge that was created between 900 years? Do you think Adam just sat around, stupid for 900 years? I don't think so. So for 900 years, man developed technologies, developed uh, science, but they're also wicked. It says they were wicked. Even though they had all this knowledge, they were very wicked. And so when you have all this technology, okay, you have all this development and all this infrastructure that was built. And what you have to understand is that the whole planet before the flood, it was one giant continent. And if you take all of the pyramids that are on Earth and you line them up, if the continents were all together, they'd create a straight line. That's what's so funny. Even from South America all the way up into Russia. If you take all the sightings of all the pyramids they've found all over the earth, they all one big line. And they're finding all of these civilizations under the ground in the rocks, and then they find this giant civilization that's off the coast of Japan. And you know what's funny is all these scientists like, oh, how did they do that? Really? And that's the question you're asking. How did they do that? I would not be asking how would they do that. I'd be asking, wow, they're pretty smart back then, weren't they? They weren't these what do you call them? Hunter gatherers. They weren't hunter gatherers before the flood. I'm telling you, if you're Noah and you're told to build the ark, the technologies that were available during Noah building the ark, 100 years, was astonishing. Okay, It took them 100 years to build this ship, okay? And so all these Baalbek, all these locations, they're finding in Egypt, and now they're finding underneath the pyramids and the Sphinx. Everything is now being re-examined. But because scientists are closed-minded, most scientists are closed-minded. If it doesn't fit their narrative, they're closed-minded. And so if it doesn't fit their narrative, they're not going to believe it. And one narrative that nobody wants to believe is that God created the earth, and therefore we are created beings. We aren't apes, basically. And when you take that standpoint, well, that just changes everything. And it changes everything about the history of the planet and all these. I mean, you go look at Egypt, or not Egypt, but you go look at India. This one temple that was carved out of a solid rock. Now you're telling me that's done by primitives? Okay, all right. So how did they build this entire temple inside this rock? It's really 3D printing if you really stop and think about it. The knowledge that went into building that or carving that was above what our knowledge is right now. We're not even half close to that right now. We couldn't do it if we tried. I can't think of the name of the place, but it's in India, and I don't know if it's India or it's Indonesia or Thailand, but it's a complete temple that is carved right out of a solid rock. I'm telling you, people. Listen. Now everybody can disagree with me. Everybody can have it, and that's what's so fun about a disagreement. Some people think that that Aurora slot cars are better than Auto World. Some people think that Race Masters are better than Auto World. Everybody has an opinion, just like everybody has something else that everybody owns that has. Everybody has two eyes. Everybody has a mouth and a nose and ears. Okay? And the key thing about it is, are you open-minded? See, there are a lot of scientists that are just closed-minded. Like I told you guys yesterday, or what day did I say this? What day did I talk about, the bases that we have on Mars and the moon? Nobody knows about them. The government is keeping it quiet. We haven't gone. What are you talking about, Bryan? We haven't gone to Mars or moon. Oh yeah, we have. Oh yeah, they're there. Yep, it's already done. It's the same thing with Noah and all of the the technology. So here's the thing. Here's the thing you have to understand. This is the good part right here. Okay, so here's the good part. You ready for this? This is what really shakes everybody up. So let's say, just for argument, that a lot of people in science and scientists and countries believed the theories that a lot of scientists have, that okay, so let's say you had a pre-flood civilization before the flood, and let's say one of the cities in this pre-flood civilization had all the knowledge in libraries and uh, and and as soon as the flood happened, okay, it was frozen instantly. Okay, let's just hypothetically now, let's just say that entire city was frozen instantly, preserving everything in that civilization. Okay, everything. It could be people, it could be technology, it could be cars, it could be airplanes, it could be every type of technology, books, everything was instantly frozen under the Antarctic, inside of under the Arctic, a mile deep, on in this city. Okay. Now, I'm not the only one that believes this. Okay. I've believed this for a long time, and I told you about this novel that I read back when I was in the Navy, back in 1979. I think I read it about this. It happened in Florida. This guy was a detective. Anyways, he was doing some research, and he found out that they found this building on top. They found this building in Antarctica on top of this ice sheet, and they go to this building on top of the Antarctica. They just think it's a building that was just stuck there. Well, they find out that this building, or this building, looks like it's just a one-story building. It's actually the top of a mile-high building that is basically encased in ice. And the top piece is basically the roof of this building. And this civilization has been living in this building for 2,000 years, or 4,000. And anyways, it's a great novel. I thought it was interesting. I can never find that novel, though. That's the sad part about it. So if you're looking at something like that, and you're thinking to yourself, well, holy cow. Let's say every nation knows about this, okay? And let's say we're learning all this stuff, okay, based on all this history out there. I mean, you go look at that one. What's that one Archimedes clock they found? And you're saying to yourself, well, how did that get designed? See, what the world does not want us to know is that man is trying to back Largo, and then tell him to change another one to Key West tomorrow. Tell him to get his butt off of the couch. So this is Bryan Young. I'm in Protinkertoys.com, and we are headed to Key Largo, and then tomorrow we might be heading to Key West. Holy cow! And we got great bargains going on right now. Bryan's Bargains, and we got big sales at Protinkertoys.com. What? I know he never has time. Yeah, just change a couple others to Key Largo, the Key West. Pro Tinker at Key West. Hey, he just needs to get. Did he sell a mattress? Did he sell one? Did he sell a mattress? Did he finally sell something? So, so if you have an open view like I do about man and about technology and all the hidden technologies that uh, are laying around, you basically really open your mind to uh, the type of technology that they had to have back in like in Pico Teco down in it's in Chile, and they find these H blocks, which if you look at these H blocks and you look at it from a manufacturer, you're saying, well, that's a die. That's a die pattern. And they probably used they probably molded rock like we mold concrete. Okay, they probably created blocks that were more powerful than we do with concrete. And you look at those H blocks, you say, how in the world did they make those? They got perfect corners on them. That's all I'm saying. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, Bryan, you're crazy. How do you believe all this crap?" I go, "Well, it's no different than believing what you guys believe, that we evolved from apes. Give me a break. I mean, come on, man. I think within the next 5 years, 10 years, a lot of stuff is going to be opened up. No re-entry southbound. Why would you do that? Why would you not have a southbound re-entry on exit 289? That doesn't make any sense. And you don't have an that doesn't make any sense. Why would you just have an exit? That doesn't make any sense. Well, we're headed to Key Largo now. So the Earth, and so you stop and think about. Okay, so let's say that Alexander Graham Bell lived to be a 900 years. Well, let's just say 700. Let's say Alexander Bell lived to be 900. What other technology do you think he would have created in those 900 years? How about Tesla? How about Edison? I don't care, any one of these guys. What other things would they have created? And that's the thing people really have to look at, okay? Is how much technology was buried after the flood. And what are we finding now? So, you know, that if you look at this one city that's off the coast of Japan, that's literally buried now, you're thinking to yourself, okay, so what was the climate or where were the oceans before the flood? So was this, obviously this city was above the flood or above the sea. So why is it all under the ocean now? I know why. I mean, you had all the plates sink and rise, and therefore you had a lot of these places went underground. Now, and then people will say, well, why don't we really see all these pyramids like we do in Egypt? And that's very simple to explain. Egypt, that area is very hot and dry, and not a lot of foliage. Okay, you go north. Okay, it's a very dry climate, very not very good for a lot of foliage. Okay, you go to like Ukraine, you go to Brazil, wet climate, great for trees, great for growth, and it just grows right. As a matter of fact, there is a temple or a pyramid in, I think it's Yugoslavia or some one of those Baltic, that the scientists actually, oh, that's not a pyramid. When you go look at it and you see these same blocks, you're saying, are you crazy? You're saying that's not a that's not a, you're saying that's not a man-made structure. No, that's not. That's natural. Really? Yeah, yeah, I real, yeah, that's stupid. Really? So you want me to believe that too? That that's not a natural, or that's a man-made? That's not a man-made object? No.
I want to do one of your
You know, so and there are sites like that all over the world that scientists, they just don't want to believe. They literally don't want to believe because it destroys their narrative. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. So we're going to be going on the beach. We're going to be spending the night on Gulf of America at Key Largo. The kids should have an hour of swimming. Maybe we might let them stay open late, maybe.
Hey, Dad. Want a cashew?
Hate cashews. I don't know. Give me a cashew. Let me taste one of those things. I hate cashews, but I'm going to try one. David, you're talking. All right, so normally I like just peanuts. All right. I don't like any other peanut other than a nut than a peanut. Okay. Cashews, pecans. I hate pecans. You could just burn every pecan plant down on earth and I'd be happy.
Eat the cashew.
All right, so this is a cashew. It's a very odd-looking shaped peanut from the peanut family. It's really a nut. Okay, it's not technically it's not a peanut. Okay, I guess people say that peanuts are different. They're not really it's a different kind of nut. Everybody tells me that when I eat peanuts, they're not healthy, but if I eat cashews, they're healthy. See, everything that I eat is bad, but everything Kathy eats is okay. All right, so this is a cashew. So I'm going to try one cashew. I'm going to try one just for the sake of argument. Okay? So I'm going to put it in my mouth.
I know they're good, Dad. Is it good?
Well, I guess they're not that bad. So you have all these, they're called megalithic sites, okay? You have all these megalithic sites all over the world that people just can't explain. And so I would then think to myself, okay, well, if you can't explain them, why isn't that being researched? Why is that not being investigated? It's all about dogma. They don't want to believe in creation because it destroys their evolutionary theories. That's the only reason. Because you cannot believe that man was smarter before the flood than he is today. They just can't accept it. I'm sorry, Mr. Young. That is completely horse manure, and that doesn't make any sense. And so, I just got a guy. Either they give me the finger, or they give me thumbs up. And the guy gave me this. I don't know what this means.
That means thumbs up.
Oh, that's thumbs up. So he gave me this. He did this because of all of my Trump signs on the back of my camper. Actually, you know what? I was kind of depressed this morning because I was thinking, well, I have to drive home, and I'm really having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with my sons and my daughter. My daughter just is totally in love with me. Actually, she's not. She just hates me. I don't know why. I don't know why Missy has this deep
Dad, we're on
hatred.
vacation. Don't get started.
I don't know why. I don't know what I did to her to get her to have such hatred toward me.
That's just
Oh, she done something. Don't look at me. It's like if I look at her, she goes, "Don't look at me." Like fangs come out.
She doesn't like when you stare dead in her eyes.
My gosh. Give me a break.
You
So
are on break.
I'm excited about going to Key Largo. Now this is it's called Palm something, Palm Spring, Palm Lane or something, RV resort. So we're going down there, and we're gonna go to that resort, and then we're gonna see Steve and his wife tomorrow. Because I didn't want to come all the way down here and not see Steve. You know, I've known Steve ever since I was in high school. I was babysitting him in 1977.
How old is Steve?
Steve is 50 some years old. So I've been babysitting. I babysitted Steve when I was in high school, in 1977, probably 77 or 76.
He was around 15.
And so I'm excited to see Steve. So when you have all this technology, all these megalithic sites like Baalbek, okay, which is over by Rome, and they've got these stones that are 900 tons, and you say to yourself, how in the world did they move them? Well, scientists says, well, they did it. They got slaves. Really? They got that many slaves just to move a 900-ton rock 120 miles? Oh yeah, let's just grab them. Hey guys, come here, guys. Let's just grab this 90 million ton stone. Let's take it all the way to eat. Okay, let's do that. Let's just get our inferior ropes. We'll just wrap our ropes around it. We'll just tow it. We'll just tow it. We'll get a bunch of sleds and put it on sand, which will make it really difficult, and we'll just tow it to where we want it to go. See that what the technology that they don't want to admit that they had was levitation. It was electromagnet levitation. They literally magnetized the stone, and they were able to levitate it. And that's how they moved all these stones around. They literally were like feathers, they just would move them around, and boom, there you go. All right, so are you going to drive that stupid? Unbelievable.
Remember when we were driving down there and then they ended up in a ditch? Calm, casual.
So they're doing a lot of work on the turnpike.
How far is that? Wait, where is that map leading to?
Hey, Derek. It'll be funny. Here, I know what I'll do.
Oh,
I don't have my keys in, Derek. Help me, Derek. Help me. Ah! There, I hope Derek is happy now. I took my teeth out just for Derek.
Yeah.
Kroger delivery. Yeah, Kroger is a company you do not want to dismiss. You know what's funny about Kroger? So Kroger is the only company that has really put the pressure on everybody. Okay? You don't ever want to. Matter of fact, I'm going to start buying stocks of Kroger, because there's one thing you don't want to. You don't want to. Um,
I thought it was munchies, not munchos.
yeah, it's Munchos.
What are his munchies?
Oh, I'm sorry there, bonehead. That means your brain is the size of a bone. So if you take all this technology that we have nowadays, I honestly believe a lot of this technology that we're using nowadays came from Antarctica. And there is a lot of stuff that we haven't even unearthed yet. I'm telling you, you've got a whole city underneath the ice that's literally frozen in time. Okay, you literally have to dig out the entire city to find out, like, for example, where, let's say, for example, the whole city is frozen, and all of a sudden you dig down and you come into a guy's house. Okay, now you have to say, okay, now where do we go? Where's the local library? That's what I'm saying. That's what's so amazing.
I can't find it. It's over there. I'm giving you
All right, so they've reopened the turnpike. They must be doing some renovation. So this goes all the way down to Miami. There's one thing about Florida is their highway system is very efficient. Very efficient. Very efficient. Very efficient.
So you do like cashews?
So when you look at the world and you see all these megalithic sites, they're all over the world. Okay? And some of them, like the one giant megalithic, now they're saying, which, you know, all of a sudden you're not allowed to go. See, this is what's really upsetting, is that a lot of these sites are banned. Like, for example, in the Colorado River, during in the Grand Canyon, there were hikers that found this caves in the Grand Canyon. Now this is in the 1800s, so there wasn't all these restrictions. Oh, you can't go there now. Okay, why? Why can't you go into these caves? Because it blows the narrative that the Vikings, that Egypt, that Rome had already been here. All of these areas had already been explored. Okay, and it was all pre-flood civilizations. It just blows my mind. All of the bones, all the giant bones that were found in the 1800s in Ohio and in the United States, the Smithsonian Institution, they took them and they destroyed them all. They hid them. They just hid them. That's what's really, I think, is the most devious thing, is they're hiding it. It's like, what do you have to? Why do you have to hide ancient technology? Why do you have to hide ancient civilizations? What's? Oh, I get it. It ruins your narrative. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, obviously.
Dad, do I know they found it? Turkey?
What, Bryan?
They found it in Noah's Ark.
That's why they're never gonna let anybody really discover or dig up Noah's Ark. Okay. No, but it's always.
They keep it closed.
No, they always keep it closed. They keep it secret. It's never. It's never just said.
They also found a preserved woolly mammoth frozen.
See, what it does is it destroys the billions. Like, for example, if you go to the Smithsonian Institute, everything that's in their natural history is all a lie. None of it is true. It's the Earth is not. I like the way they throw these numbers out. I think it's like 90 billion years old. Okay, billion.
Oh yeah, apparently that woolly mammoth that they
All right,
got.
let's just say for an argument, let's say it's 20 billion years old, which I don't believe it at all.
No.
A billion, okay? So let's look at 1,000. All right, so we've been on in America for 250 years.
Oh yeah.
They're saying, all right, so 20 billion years, billion, okay, billion, and that's just a low number. You go in the Smithsonian Natural History, you'll see numbers of 90, 110. They just make up these numbers. I tell you, they make them up like, hey, yeah, that thing, yeah, Earth is 90 billion years old. Yeah, yeah, that's right. It's 90 billion years old. Aren't you gonna believe me? I'm a I'm a scientist. I work for MIT. I work for the JPL lab. That's 90 billion years old, buddy. Give me a break. That's why all of this technology, all of these megalithic sites, if they have to prove it, that means it destroys the narrative that the Earth is billions of years old. I'm telling you, it's that simple. And and all you have to do is read Romans, or not Romans and Corinthians. The simple of God has created the simple things to confuse the wise. So he's created the simple things to make the wise go wacko. So so I'm very excited about the history of the world, and until we finally get rid of these Darwinian nutcases, we might have some truth come out in history, because we got to get rid of all these Darwinian nutcases, because Darwin was the dumbest man on earth. Matter of fact, all of his theories were never proven, and he himself claimed that his stuff doesn't make any sense. But everybody believes it. Yeah, yeah. How old are we, Louis? I don't know. What do you think? Maybe 200, maybe 90 million years old? Well, I don't know, Louis.
Dad,
I
someone looks out the window. They're
I
gonna think it's Trump.
I can't believe that they think I'm 900 years old. Well, maybe, Louis, but we sure look like it. My wife looks like me. Yeah. It's like, are you kidding me? Is this really why you want to go down this road?
No, Dad wouldn't say.
Unbelievable. It's almost it's almost absurd. You know what I mean? It's almost absurd. Now, I was thinking that I had to get back. I was in this. I said, I'm retired. When I get back, I'm gonna start taking Social Security. I'm not gonna wait any longer. I'm gonna go in and apply, and I'm gonna get Social Security. I'm just gonna do it. My wife's still working. Okay, she's gonna get a full retirement and then a Social Security. We're gonna be living like kings. Okay, if my wife if she can get on her diet and quit eating all the junk she eats. She needs to lose some weight and start walking with me.
Dad, how about you start walking again?
Hey, we can start walking every night. From now on, when I get home, we're gonna walk 3 miles every night. That's good. So he's going into surgery. Kevin's going into surgery. He fell walking his dogs. Does that make any sense? Really? They're going to do a full hip replacement. What, do they just got him in stock? What? What do they have them in stock? You got to be kidding. So he's going to get a full hip replacement. They just have them in stock. Hey, can I have a hip, please? Give me a hip. Put a hip on me, please. Hey, Louie wants a new knee. Give me a new knee, please. So I said to myself, why not? I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm already down here. I might as well do it. It's like I've told you guys, all of you guys, you got to do your bucket. You do what you say you're going to do. I've wanted, now I could cross off on my bucket list that I've gone to Key Largo and Key West. I'm telling you, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And so I've only got 2 weeks or 2 days or 2 weeks to live. Did you turn off the air conditioning? Did you turn off the compressor? No, did you? Oh, okay. No, you leave it on. I got to get gas anyway. Nah, I don't need it on. I just as long as you guys are comfortable. So when you look at history based on the Smithsonian Institute, you're looking at it from a very biased, secular vision. Because all you have to do is go to the Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C., and it is all biased. Billions. Everything is billions. Yeah, 900 million years ago, our fathers came across the great continent, and we were living in stone huts, baby. And we were cutting the rocks out of other things. Yeah, baby. Yep. Yep. That's how we came across. But they don't want to look at they don't want to look like the mounds, like for example the mounds that they're finding in Ohio, and it's like they go like, we don't know. So it's nothing like they got to go do some research. It's kind of like the temples that Daniel and I we found or we went to in Mexico. Okay, so how did these get here? Oh, they just happened to pop up. Oh yeah, it's they've got the same stone. Okay, they got the same stone. They got like 900,000 stones in the same size. So oh yeah, it's just like you're gonna go up to Louis. Hey Louis, hey, we got the contract to build the Aztec temple. We need 900,000 of these 4x4 blocks. Well, great, Louis. Let's start cutting all these stones up. Well, obviously, you have to have an infrastructure to do that. And yes, you do probably have Louis and his brother Leo they probably have a strong quarry. And so the Aztec government or whatever probably came to Louis. They knocked on his door. Yeah, this is Louis and Mario Stones. Hey, we need 900,000 4x4x1 stones. Okay, we'll get them made for you. Where do you want us to deliver them? Well, we're going to build a temple over here. Okay, we'll get those stones delivered to you. See, this is what people, I don't know if they fail to understand. Maybe I think it's education. I don't think they really understand infrastructure, number one, logistics, number two, and supply and demand, number three. Because if they're having to build a temple or let's say a village or a town, and if when you go to look at it in Mexico, they've got the same stones everywhere. Well, they have to go somewhere to buy those or to get them made. So therefore, they go to a stone make area, and they must go to them and say, hey, we need 900,000 of this stone, we need 500,000 of that stone, and we need 2 million of these stones. Okay, no problem. We'll just give it. That will be, and they calculated how much that will be, and that's how they made it. But you know what? People don't understand that. That's the dirty little secret. Is people understand? It's like, Like I'm on a highway here, and you see all these houses that are being built. Well, how do those houses get built? Well, first of all, it's a kit. And so that kit, the homeowner or the builder says, okay, we need so many square foot of 2x4s, 1x8s, 2x10s, whatever. And all that has to be put together along with maybe, okay, we're going to need 9,000 nails. We're going to need, 24 square foot of shingle. And all that stuff is put on a truck from Home Depot and sent to the site in which that house is going to be built. That's the same thing that had to happen when they built all these temples. I'm telling you. There's one thing that's constant, and that is supply and demand. You have a supply, I will provide the demand. Or no, I have a demand, I will do the supply. I don't know what else to say. It's almost like people don't want to read, they don't want to believe the truth. They don't want to believe the truth. They don't want to believe that man is, 6,000 years old. They can't comprehend that man is only 6,000 years old. Oh no, we've got to be 9 billion years old. But man is only, they say man is only like 100,000 years old, that the apes quit. The apes, there must have been an off switch on the apes that all of a sudden, like 900 years, 9,000 years ago, or 900,000 years, or a million years ago, all of a sudden, the evolution switch just flipped off. Okay, we're not evolving anymore. We got enough humans. All right, so let's flip that switch off so no more apes become human. Because if you believe that apes evolved to humans, you have to believe. Now, these scientists, they always have an answer to your question. They always have an answer. Well, that's it. You're looking at it. You're looking at it the wrong way, Bryan. Okay, the apes, they could have gone through a different evolutionary state, and therefore that's why not evolving into humans anymore. Are you that stupid? Do you think I'm that stupid? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know what it is? It's just pure stupidity. It's just pure stupidity. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you know, if you want to believe that we are 9 billion years old, I don't care. And I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm just saying the people that have made us believe or have convinced a significant amount of this population that we evolved from apes and that Earth is, 9 billion years old, or I don't know, let's say a trillion. Let's throw the word trillion out. Like we're a trillion years old. Like, okay, Louis. Hey, Louis, guess what? Now they're saying that we are billions of years old. Well, maybe my wife is billions of years old. So, anyways, that is the history of the world according to Bryan. Now, you might be saying, so what really changed? Well, there's three key events that happened on Earth that really changed the direction of Earth. Okay, the first one was Noah's Ark, because that set in motion a complete reset of mankind. All you have to do is read Genesis, the first 10 chapters of Genesis, and you have a pretty broad picture of what happened to man. Okay? Then you have the Roman Empire. Now you had the Persians, the Greeks, the Babylonians, but Rome, unless we had Rome, we could not have had Christianity. Okay? If we didn't have Rome, we could not have had Christianity, because Christianity basically helped spread the gospel because of the Roman infrastructure that was set up after Rome or during the Roman Empire. You had a road system that basically was able to promote the gospel throughout the entire world. And if it wasn't for the Roman Empire, the Roman postal system, the Roman aqueducts, the Roman roads and everything, you wouldn't have had the spread of Christianity spread so fast in such a small time. So that's the Roman Empire. And the third key element of the evolution of the earth is is what happened in 1776, where a ragtag group of patriots, okay, and I always say this, you woke up one morning on the Boston Harbor, and all of a sudden, the night before that, you go to bed and there's maybe a couple ships in the harbor, and then you wake up the following morning, you open up your shutters, and you look outside and you see 500 British ships, the largest military of the known world, the British Empire, and a ragtag group of patriots create the United States of America, which by far is the greatest nation ever to come to blue. If you have a problem with that, we have a real serious problem. And the reason it is the greatest nation on this planet is because every nation is a part of this nation. You got everybody. That's what makes America the greatest nation of all time. And it revolutionized history. And I say this throughout all my videos. Okay? You look at the world's population up till 1776, it was pretty much about 300 to 400 million people. And within 100 years, okay, human population after the creation of the United States of America literally skyrocketed to 7 billion people in 2 centuries. So all the time, from the time of Christ to the pre-flood to the Babylonians, there were about 300 million Earthlings. And then all of a sudden, in less than 200 years, it went from 300 million to 7 billion people.
8 billion now.
8 billion people in less than 200 years. Really, 100 years. In less than, really, 100 years. Well, now we're about 150. I would say 150. Because the mid 19 or the 1800s was really what happened. It just you can look at it, it goes like this, then all of a sudden like that. 8 billion. The amount of technology that came out of America, just everything that we use. Thomas Edison goes to Queen Elizabeth and electrifies the palace. That changed everything. Changed everything. Those are the three key elements of history. And you know what's really amazing is that we are living in the last one. That I am alive in 2025, and I live in a country that is the most powerful country on the planet as of right now. I mean, it's not even close. You can't even write a book on it. Okay? I'm telling you. It's something to marvel. You know what I'm saying? It's something to marvel. Hey, see where they're close. I think there's a Love's up here about 50 miles. Yeah, I think it's off of this road here. We're on 91. south. I think so. So, anyways, that's the history of the world, history of America, history of the world. That's my view of the world. Now, will we ever really get the truth about this whole thing? I don't know. We might. We might get the truth, maybe. I don't know. But one thing I do know is they can't keep it a secret forever. It's kind of like in Easter Island, those little heads. And they just thought they were just heads until they realized that the mud had covered them and they're actually complete statues. How do you think they got there? Do you think it's just some Louis and Fernando decide, hey, Fernando, let's take some of these stones and make some giant tiki dodos? No, you can't make this stuff up. You really can't. You really can't make this stuff up, man. Don't let me pull in, okay? No, I'm on 91 South. 91 South, Florida Turnpike South. So, I want everybody to understand something, okay? That if you look at things in an open mind, you won't be duped. I can't be duped anymore. Now, I might be taken advantage of once in a while, but you can't dupe me anymore, okay? And I can go into detail on that on another video because I've been duped so many times since the 1980s. There's a Cybertruck. I just won $1. I didn't think we'd get into traffic, but I guess we got into some traffic. And what's really amazing is, I guarantee you there's no accident up here. I guarantee you there's no accident. You know what I'm saying? It's probably rubbernecking. Rubbernecking. We're going to rubberneck our necks. 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 So don't forget, we got great deals going on at Protinkertoys.com. Protinkertoys.com. We got some big deals. Daniel's got some great deals going on. There's nothing. There's no accident. There's no rubbernecking, and now it's just we're moving slow. Go figure. All right, that's fine. Thank you very much, dear. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Miami is 215 miles, but we're bypassing Miami. Now, why is Key Largo closer than Miami? Maybe I'm getting off on the. I think Key Largo's on 95. I have to get off of 91 and scoot on to 95. So there were no accidents on 91. It's just slow traffic because everybody doesn't know how to drive. First of all, here's the key of driving, especially on the internet or on the interstate. Never drive with your foot on the brake. Always use your cruise control. Like for example, right now I'm going to set my cruise control and I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to set it at a certain speed and I'm going to leave it alone. So you're not kidding. He's just going to get a new hip. That's ridiculous. What do they have him laying around? See, and nobody knows how to drive. That's the problem. So I've set my thing at 60. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, we're going to have some fun tonight, baby. Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. Don't forget to check out all the Bryan's bargains. There's 2 new AFX Firebirds coming out. We should have those next week. Daniel should have those up pretty soon. And 17 miles, old sparklers could be lit, high DUI. All right, so we're going to speed up a little bit because people are going now about 65. We're out of the Kimmy St. Cloud. Oh. So anyways, I think that's the story, the history of the world. All I have to do is just get on the internet and watch some of these videos about the ancient megalithic sites. They'll blow your mind. I mean, if you want to sit there and think, oh, yeah, I've got the answer. Yeah, well, tell me, because you don't. I just would love to know. I'd love to have been there when these megalithic sites were being built. That's the real interesting thing. Kimmy St. Cloud. We got 197 miles to go. We're heading south right now. It seems like there's traffic on one side, but there isn't on the other. Hopefully we can get through this without any more delays. So the key thing to understand is that you're being lied to about a lot of things. Okay. And it's in their interest to keep you stupid. Because a lot of people don't know any of this stuff that I just talked about. A lot of people have no clue. A lot of people are looking at me like, "Are you kidding me? You saying that there's a city buried in Antarctica that's got advanced technology, or ancient technology before the flood?" Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what. And are you telling me that we've got a moon base and that the United States is not telling anybody? That's exactly what I'm saying. Are you telling me we've got a Mars base and the United States isn't telling anybody? That's exactly what I'm telling you. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Now, whether you believe me or not, I don't care. I'm just telling you that's what's happened. All I know is this. Let me just tell you this. We didn't basically create the largest space uh, department in the world in 10 years. Okay, from 19, we'll say 1957 to 1969. We didn't create all of NASA, all the infrastructure and everything, and then all of a sudden just say to ourselves, okay, all right, we're done. Let's just mothball it. Are you kidding me? Really, seriously, That's what you want to be. Well, yeah, Brian. Brian, you're very strange. See, and the government would come to me and go, Brian, are you sure? Yeah, I am sure. Yep. Now, you guys can you guys can play along all you want. You can tell me that I'm crazy. You can you can tell me that you know all the things I've said are ludicrous, and I don't have any proof that we do have a moon base or we do have a Mars base. But I know one thing: and being on submarines and being in the Navy, logistics, baby. I know that you don't just build the most powerful rocket in history, that you literally within 10 years explode explodes the United States technology. There are three times in America. This is why America is so great. There are three times that propelled America so far ahead of the world that it shocked the world. The first was the the American Revolutionary War was amazing because it created the environment of the Civil War, which propelled America into the the industrial age, which propelled us, through the Great White Fleet. Then we had World War One, which was not necessarily a huge advancement, but it was the beginning of the flight. Then you had World War Two, that literally propelled America, a third-rate country before the war, into a global superpower. The amount of technology that came out of World War II, astounding. Then we had along with the nuclear, we had Apollo program, which literally propelled us so far into the advanced technologies that a lot of this stuff we just can't tell people what we have. If we told people what we have, it would I think the earth would just go nuts. Now, you guys can doubt me all you want, and I don't care. I just believe these things deeply. Is it going to affect me? No. Am I gonna lose sleep over it? No. Now, some other people might lose sleep over it, like Russia and China. China, let me let me make this very clear about China. China, if you look, let's take on an evolutional no, I don't want to go on an evolution scale. I just want to give a good representation of America versus China. How do I want to do a good representation of America and China so people really understand the backwards and the sheer um, primitiveness of China? How do I want to make that comparison? How do I want to make that comparison? And I don't want to negate China because China does have some technology or advancement, but it's all based on other people's ideas. And it's almost like China is the Titanic, okay, or the Bismarck, okay? And America obviously is the Iowa class ships. We built four Iowa class ships. We were going to build a fifth one called the Minnesota with four cannons or four turrets. They never built it. But that's a good comparison of China being the Titanic, a nice ship, a nice or a nice iron ship, but a lot of flaws. Then you have America with the Iowa class battleship, state of the art, uh, just high perfection in everything. And that's the United States versus China. China is the most inept country on the planet. They are so far behind. Now they're okay on doing this, but I tell you, a lot of their buildings now are having problems. I wouldn't doubt that one day one of their top skyscrapers just literally falls over. Just falls over. Just goes boom. I wouldn't doubt me. Wouldn't doubt me at all. So when people are worried about China, I would say to them, "Are you kidding me? Really? We're worried about China, huh? Okay. All right. Yippee-yi-yo. Yippee-yi-yay. So Derek likes to watch me because he's bored at home. I don't know why, because Vanessa is a very, very beautiful person, and I don't know why Derek doesn't take her out to dinner more often. I'm very disappointed with Derek. Now, I'm going to have something I probably shouldn't have, but you know what? Woulda, coulda, shoulda, shouldn't have come with me. Now, one thing I really love to eat, I shouldn't do it a lot. I don't do it as often as I used to. Is having one of these little donuts by Hostess. Oh, good cracker, good cracker. We're gonna have a nice, quiet evening at the beach. Key Largo. Great movie with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. I love that movie so much. It's just a great movie. Just a great movie. Lionel Barrymore, Humphrey Bogart, Edward G. Robinson. Oh my gosh. Just everybody in a movie. You can't make that nowadays. Hollywood couldn't make that movie nowadays. They would have it all filthy and garbage. Unbelievable. 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 Those were good. Now, I have a very simple way of putting my teeth in so you guys don't see them. There we go. Ryan, Ryan might have sold a mattress today. Okay, he had somebody in there today, but I don't know if he actually closed the deal. I've got to do some teaching on him on how to close the real deal. I haven't heard from Mandy in a while. I think she still likes me. Um, she was mad at me last week. Mandy was, and but I think she still likes me. I think she's watching me right now. Now that's a smart way of doing. This is the way I think all highways should do their uh, plazas. One plaza, both directions. You pull into one plaza. Much easier. Ohio's got plazas on one side and one on the other. Just make one giant plaza. They're like that in Illinois, but they're doing away with them. Unbelievable. I just passed a rest stop. I'll stop next time. Yeah, they can be in it. So anyway, so that's the history of the world. I hope you guys enjoyed that show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button below here. Just remember, I'm Bryan Young, Protinkertoys.com. We're on a big trip. I didn't want to go back today. I really did not want to go back. Honestly, I was leaving, and I was depressed. I was saying, you know what? I'm retired. I should be able to go and do what I want. Now my wife's not retired, but she's off. You know, it's not like we have anything that we have to do. What? About 10 miles a gallon. It's about 9 and 10. Can't get any better than that, baby. A B10. Only have 9 people. How long is he there? Send me the address, Adam. Yeah, send me the address, Adam. Adios, amigos. Thank you very much for watching.